So when we look at these two moments of conflict, first reading and in the gospel, and the key is that responsorial song that says, "The heart of the just one is firm, trusting in the Lord." So when we lean upon the Lord for strength, no matter what we go through, whether it is suffering, whether it's the experience of hardship in our life, to know that the Lord is with us in the midst of that, or when we are being ensnared, to hold fast to the Lord is the way through whatever trap. So in the gospel, we have this trap being set, and it's very much like in the Psalms where it says, I forget the actual phrasing there, but it's like, all honey is their speech, even though like their tongue is like a sword, all honey their speech. So see how they're just being very kind, but very deceptive. They're saying, "We know that you are a truthful man. We just want to know, what do you think?" And they put something out there so that whatever way that he goes, they can get him. It's these impossible situations. And you see this in other parts of the gospel as well. If they say that it's lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar, then that must mean that he would get on the wrong side of those who were saying that he's supposed to be the true religious figure, and now he's siding with the state. Or to go against that and say, no, don't pay the tax, would then create a situation in which Rome would step in and he would get in trouble there. So he would get in trouble with his people that were under the oppression of Rome, or get in trouble with Rome itself. And he has this very beautiful way of saying, look at the penny, the coin, that we pay the taxes with. And the image on it is Caesar. So if that image is there, then yes, you can give this to Caesar, but then you give whatever the image of God is, you need to make sure that that goes to God. And the image of God is actually on us. So there's a deeper way in which, yes, you give those material things, you be a good citizen, all those different things, but there's a deeper citizenship that we have. Because we have the mark of God on us. We were made in his image and likeness. And so we repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, the material things of this world. But then we give our heart, we give our whole being to God. Now, looking at the first reading, we're going to be going through this book of Tobit. It's a beautiful book. It's an adventure story. It's a love story. It's one of the 7 books that are in the original Old Testament that Jesus himself and all the apostles used and all the gospel writers used after Jesus ascended into heaven. Several decades afterwards, there was a movement within the Pharisees in which they wanted to purify any of the readings that were just in Greek. And so they started to remove different books. And this is actually where, during the time of the Reformation, Martin Luther would look at these 2 different lists, and he would see that there was a Greek version that seemed to have more books, and a Hebrew version would seem to have less books. And so he was thinking, well, the Hebrew, it was originally written in Hebrew, so therefore we need to eliminate these other ones because they also had different things about praying for the souls of the deceased. There's several different things that worked against some of his thought and some of what he was trying to do. And so it was, from a historical argument, he thought that he was going to an earlier collection of books, but actually he was going to a later one, and a one that Jesus himself didn't use. And so the Catholic Bible that has the 7 extra books, it's not that the church put them in there, but that they were taken out after Jesus' time and then those were used during the Protestant Reformation. So a way of looking at books like Tobit and other books that are part of these 7, we call them the deuterocanonical, is that when you get a Bible and it's a Catholic Bible, it's the director's cut with all the special features, in a sense. Everything that was there from the very beginning. When Jesus himself would read the scriptures, he was using the Bible that we are using to this day. So that's just a little bit of apologetic there. If someone asked the question, why do you have extra books in your Bible? It's like, well, actually they were there in the beginning. They were just taken out. They were taken out and then used in the Protestant Reformation, a reduced collection of books. So that's something just to kind of think about with that. But as we go through this story of Tobit, we have Tobit, yesterday we would have read it, but it's the Visitation, talks about Tobit being this righteous man, this man who goes above and beyond to do the various corporal works of mercy, to bury the dead when no one else is burying the dead. They're living out in exile right now. So they're living in a foreign country. This is after Jerusalem fell, and this is the story of how the Lord still takes care of his people even after they are exiled out of their homeland. We'll hear later on that St. Raphael will be sent in order to help this family and to help another family to be able to come to peace, come to ultimately their vocation. In here we have the experience of Tobit is doing the right things, and yet bad things are happening to him. And it's that question of, why does God allow bad things to happen to good people? And it's something that he struggles with. And he starts becoming, in a sense, weaker and more agitated because he's losing his eyesight. I mean, this is just a very real human book here in which he's becoming blind. He's struggling in his relationship with God, and he gets mad at his wife because he thinks that she had stolen a goat, but she didn't, and he keeps getting madder and madder. And then Anna, his wife, uses words to really hurt him, to say, where are your charitable deeds now? Where are your virtuous acts? See, your true character is finally showing itself. And so you have this battle, and you're going to see this battle within other people within this book, of the struggle of doing what's right. And it's easy when everything's going well, but when tragedy comes, when difficulty comes, when suffering comes, then it's this real test of faith. And ultimately what we'll see is that God is with this family and will help them through that in very extraordinary ways. So more to come on the book of Tobit.